Hello and welcome to Newsline. I'm Jess Davis.
And my name is Mark Carney. Coming up on the program today, how are our firefighters learning their trade since the closure of the Fiskville training site? Fad diets, are they making us fat? And IS making inroads in Iraq and Syria.
But first, the Royal Commission into Child Sexual Abuse arrived in Ballarat today, hearing evidence of molestation that locals say has led to an epidemic of suicide in the West Victorian city. Victim turned advocate Peter Blenkian, who was abused as a student at St Patrick's College, likened the effect of abuse on Ballarat to the detonation of an atomic bomb.
If you can defuse the bomb, the fallout's minimal. If the bomb goes off, then you'll spend the rest of your life picking up pieces of shrapnel.
The Commission is also expected to hear from convicted paedophile Father Gerald Ridsdale via video link from prison, where he is serving an 8-year sentence for the rape of children as young as 4. The impact of child sexual abuse is felt acutely in Ballarat. The city is home to St Alepius Primary School, where in 1971 it is believed every male teacher was abusing students. The Commission, which began hearing testimony in September 2013, say they expect to make recommendations about redress for abuse victims by mid-year.
For more than 3 decades, Fiskville was the primary training ground for Victorian firefighters. But many who have visited the CFA site since the 1970s believe they were exposed to carcinogenic chemicals responsible for 16 cancer-related deaths. The Andrews government inquiry into these deaths began yesterday, and it will hear evidence from victims of the cancer cluster still suffering from their time at Fiskville. The training ground was permanently shut down in March to safeguard against more deaths, but as Bridget Davies discovered, the closure of the site has left staff and volunteers worried about the future of firefighter training in Victoria. They say with no contingency plan in place, training courses have now had to be cancelled or relocated, resulting in fewer skills at a higher cost.
For more than 25 years, Lieutenant Ian Ireland of the Ballan Fire Brigade has been volunteering to protect his local community from bushfires. With the closure of the Fiskville Training College, he says the standard of volunteers will plummet.
They've destroyed the ethos of, the CFA. They've taken the heart out of it. Without the volunteers, there wouldn't be a fire service.
Fiskville was the CFA's primary training ground and its facilities were unique. Courses have now had to be cancelled or relocated, with some facilities only offering simulated training exercises using fake smoke.
The ability of particularly volunteers to undertake training at a hot fire training facility will be severely limited in respect to the brigades that used, or brigade members that used Fiskville as their primary hot fire training facility.
Volunteers from Ballan say they will now have to go to Penshurst for training, a 2.5-hour drive, Longrenong, also a 2.5-hour drive, or Huntley, an hour and 45-minute drive. With each course taking roughly 4 hours, it's no surprise volunteers can't find the time to commit.
We were able to have everything there. So we had our hot fire training, we had our dining room facilities, we had accommodation, we had classrooms. So all our training was delivered at Fiskville.
If a new facility is to be built, staff say it must be a training college to eliminate the now rising cost of hotels, travel and meals. Newsline contacted Emergency Services Minister Jane Garrett, but she was unavailable for comment. On March 26, the training college here at Fiskville was permanently shut down, the CFA board citing unsafe chemical levels in the water supply. But tests found the drinking water was safe and there was no health risk to current staff. Members of the local community say closing Fiskville is not the answer. The CFA has more than 59,000 members, of which 97% are volunteers. Lieutenant Ireland says paid CFA members can't speak out, but volunteers can't be gagged.
No Fiskville. No training, no skills to save lives.
And it seems the message is very clear. Bridget Davies, Newsline.
The city of Ramadi was captured yesterday by IS, a significant blow to Iraqi and coalition forces. Ramadi lies 100 kilometres west of Baghdad, and its capture is IS's biggest victory in the last 12 months. Expert in counterinsurgency David Kilcullen told ABC's Lee Sales IS looks increasingly like a state.
And I think our description of them as a bunch of murderous thugs that control a patchwork quilt of Iraq is sort of overtaken by events. I mean, they are acting like a state-building activity, and they look increasingly like a state.
3,000 Shia fighters have been stationed near Ramadi in Iraq's western Anbar province in an effort to retake the city. Meanwhile, in Syria, Reports have emerged that IS has taken 2 oil fields within 40 kilometres of the historic site of Palmyra.
And now to our movie review, which is actually a television review today, with Bridget Davies simply unable to resist the charms of Married at First Sight.
Married at First Sight made its debut for Channel 9 last night to ratings success and plenty of controversy. The show bagged 1.13 million viewers in its first outing, making it the top entertainment show of the night. Based on a Danish format of the same name, the show features 4 couples who agree to get married when they first meet. The couples, who are paired up by 3 experts to ensure compatibility, literally meet at the altar before heading off to spend a month together to see whether they can make it work long term. But in a country where marriage is supposed to be sacred, many found the show questionable in its delivery. Whether true love prevails for the 4 couples remains. But one thing is certain, it has definitely got the whole country talking. Take a look at a snippet from last night's show.
I've been single now for a good 4 or 5 years. Farming life can be a tough life. You get lonely out here on the farm, but not completely alone. I've got the dog. Where's a mouse? Where is it? And I've got 300 odd head of cattle as well. Come on! They can keep you company. Come on!
Married at First Sight airs on Channel 9 on Monday nights. You in the studio, Mark.
Thank you, Bridget. Still to come, Mixed Strife hits the world's biggest burger chain, and fad diets. Are they making us fat?